Salutations, my name is Phil, aka JC Servant, and today we are here to once and for all settle the raging debate of which is better for solo and low levels. Is it Brute or is it Mastermind? Okay, I'm not kidding myself. This is not going to solve the debate for most of you, but it solved the debate for me. I mean, my mind was already kind of set on this because I've played so much of the game, and I had a really solid idea of where these two were at. But I wanted to take a few minutes here to show you guys exactly what I mean. So what I have done last night during the stream is I did basically a stress test with these two ATs. And you're going to see just the final boss fight of the stress test in the background here as I'm monologuing here. And then after I get done with my little speech, I'll edit the video in such a way that I show the entirety of the stress test afterwards. So you can stay and watch that if you want, or you can just, stop watching the video after the monologue, whatever makes you happy. Anywho, so what I've done for this stress test is I set the difficulty to ×2 + 1. Generally speaking, as I'm getting into my 20s, it's not unusual for me to put the difficulty up at ×2. And that's enough to basically keep challenging most of my characters. And that can sometimes be a little too much challenge for some characters in certain situations. Keep in mind that when you set difficulty in a flashback, unless you know what the flashback is you're getting into exactly, you might be setting yourself up for a harder challenge than you think. Because the other part, that +1, well, what that does is some story arcs already have a +1 or 2 or 3 built into it, and that +1 to difficulty that you're stacking on, it will stack on top of that, will make it a lot more difficult, especially when you capitalize it with a ×2. So that's a thing. So it was important that I choose the same story arc to test both of these so that at least some elements would be kind of equal. Now, story arcs have randomization elements to some degree, in them, particularly this one. You're going to see that in the first mission. They're both completely different from each other, but the last mission tends to be pretty consistent with that one big elite boss fight at the end. And as I pointed out in the longer play when I was doing the stream, and I did this in front of everybody, so if there was any mistakes, if there was any oopsies, everyone could see I wasn't editing them out. You're going to get the unedited footage of the full run of these two characters, and you can see for yourself where the struggles might be at. But in summary, basically, the Mastermind was playing the game on easy mode. I mean, honestly, as long as you play support, which is let the wolves go first. In this case, I'm using wolves and marine support. Beastmaster, I should say, marine support. So you let the wolves go first and you just keep an eye on them. That's your job. That's your job. And I've heard people say, well, it's so difficult or whatever. The wolves might run or whatever have you. You have one job in the game, and that is to keep an eye and support the wolves. Basically, you are the mastermind. You are supposed to control your henchmen, direct your henchmen, support your henchmen. And so I just stay back. I let the wolves do most of the work. In a couple of battles, I don't even bother to do any sort of healing or buffing at all, even during one of the particular fights that were a little challenging. I just let the wolves have at it, and you can see that they do a pretty good job of holding their own, even though they did come close to biting the bullet on that one. They did a pretty good job without me hardly ever touching the keyboard. When I was touching the keyboard and doing my job and using my powers to support them, the marine powers, they absolutely were rock stars, absolutely positively. And I think during the entire run, I maybe lost a couple of wolves, maybe. Who cares? Summon up another one, no big deals. At no point did I think I ever came any remotely close to my character dying. Against the elite boss fight that you're going to see at the end here, and I should be showing it here while I'm talking, but during the elite boss fight, it wasn't too much different. It was pretty easy. Now, I did use support on that one, but I didn't have to use any inspirations. I pretty much kept the wolves alive. I think my lioness died, and I was thinking about resurrecting her, or basically summoning another one, I should say. And by the time I completed the thought, the boss was already dead. So it was really not a big deal. For the Brute, I was using my Slice and Dice electric, or Claws electric Brute, which was a suggestion from one of the viewers that I build. For the most part, I've been having fun with this particular character. I have no complaints overall about this character. And it's a character I'm down to clown with any time. And I did this mission with this character on normal settings, and I absolutely, creamed it, which is, again, why I put, Brutes in A tier. But when I did the stress test, well, the cracks start to show. Okay, so you're going to see, if you watch the full video, you're going to see some times where I'm running very low on health. I had to pop an inspiration, or I even bite the dirt a couple of times because I was trying a little too hard not to use inspirations. And then when I get to the boss at the end, I definitely have to burn some inspirations to get through the boss on the stresses. Now, at default settings, didn't have to use hardly any inspirations. I think I used one to get through the boss, but now with the cracks starting to show, then I'm going to have to use some more. Now, some of you might say, well, Phil, using inspirations is part of the game, right? And so that means brutes are awesome, yay! Yes, absolutely, I agree with you. Again, there's a reason why they're A+. So in my books, okay, I think like a high school student, 100% is an A+. It's not an S. We didn't have S. It was an A+, okay? And when it comes to normal default contents, brutes generally cream everything. Now, what happens with some of the story arcs from time to time is they will throw +2s, +3s at you. They will throw you into situations where you're fighting 2 or 3 groups. So that's like a ×2 or ×3, at you at the same time. And the brute will have to use inspirations to get through. That is correct, that it is expected. It's a tool in a tool shed. And that's why, and as long as you're using those wisely and you're managing your resources, and remember the conditions are 1 through 35 using SOs only. So you're doing your SOs properly, and you're using, you will very rarely die on a brute. That's why and you will arrest enemies at a very good clip. So that's why it is given an A+, which is like 100%, like a perfect score. You generally can't get any better than that. But on some tests in school, you could get extra credit. You could get extra credit for going above and beyond, or doing the bonus question, or whatever have you. For me, to get into S tier, it's not good enough to be perfect. You have to go above and beyond. And that's what the Mastermind does. The Mastermind is able to get the A+ without even putting the pen to the paper sometimes, right? Literally, at default difficulty settings, I hardly have to control the wolves or support the wolves at all. Even during the stress test, I'm able to still do that during some of the fights. And then when you get to the boss, I didn't even have to use any inspirations at all. Wait, that's like a challenge that you do in Ouroboros for extra credit. So in Ouroboros, before you do a story arc, you have an option not to use to put yourself under certain conditions, the more difficult conditions, in order to earn badges. Right? Now, these are conditions that are above and beyond what the game normally inflicts on you. One of those is to go through the game without using, or go through the story arc in a certain amount of time. Another one's like without using enhancements. Another one is without using inspirations. I can tell you, when it comes to considering doing those types of challenges, I would do it with the Mastermind any day of the week before the brute, because my brute needs inspirations to get through some of the more difficult challenges that occasionally pop up in the story arcs. My Mastermind, generally speaking, does not. It only requires that I pay attention and finally use my secondary powers. And you see plenty of that in both of these videos, which is why I put it at S tier, because essentially the Mastermind earns extra credit and goes above and beyond what I could possibly normally expect for an AT to get through even the tougher content in some of the story arcs, as they are all over the place. So you're going to see plenty of gameplay here. Like I said, after I get done monologuing here, I'm just going to go ahead and edit it to where you have the full unedited version of me running through with both classes for the most part from beginning to end on this fault line. It's a fault line quest line, which has 3 doors with 2 elite bosses, though the first elite boss, they give you NPC help. But then I think it has the elite boss has some support himself, and then the second elite boss you fight at the end has like 2 minions to support her, and that's it. So you're gonna see it covered in with both of these characters. I know not everyone's going to agree, like, oh, this shuts the case closed, but I could do this with any two brutes, any two mastermind, or any combination of brute and mastermind, and get a pretty similar result more times than not. I'm not saying there isn't an exception out there somewhere that someone's going to come up, well, if you put together this brute, then you run it against this really bad mastermind. Yeah, I'm sure there are some examples out there that would drive me crazy, and you would probably be right. But having played quite a few characters, and whatnot, this is a pattern that I saw in leveling up my mastermind. This is a pattern that I saw in leveling up brutes. So I knew that when I, got on the stream in front of a live audience and I ran them through this harder than normal difficulty level on this story arc, I kind of knew where the pain points would be at, the pressure points would be at to use inspirations and not. So feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. May God bless you. And like I said, after I get done talking, we'll just have the full unedited version from the beginning of the stress test so that you can watch it if you feel like it and make your own decisions. You will hear me talking. That was pre-recorded. That was just me talking to the audience and talking out loud as I was doing those story arcs with those characters. So we're going to try. Welcome. My name is Phil, aka JC Servant. Welcome to another exciting City of Heroes video. We are going to be doing a Mastermind versus Brute, kind of a little bit of a stress test here. We're going to show you some characters here. We're forcing them down to level 20. Let's take a look at how we have our pets kind of petted out here, right? So summon wolves, summon lions. We put 3 reds and 2 yellows for super accuracy into. There's an argument to put recharge reduction or endurance reduction instead of that second yellow. You do you. And then summon dire wolf. I've only got enough slots right now for 2 reds and a yellow. We're using Soothing Wave, Shovel West, White Cat. We're using Marine Affinity to back it up. Am I being attacked already? Son of a gun! I can't even monologue without something attacking me. All right, let me take care of this because boy oh boy, we just got to get right in there before I even buff the pets or anything. Yeah, somebody was like, "Oh, you aren't a real good mastermind player because you let your pets die and then you didn't rebuff them right away." I'm like, "Oh my goodness gracious, boys and girls, look at me, look at me, look at me." I hope this guy is watching who wrote this comment. I never ever said I'm an expert player. I never ever said I'm super advanced. I never ever said I'm at the top of the game. If I do things that are less than optimal, I make mistakes or whatever the case may be, that's okay. I don't care. I just don't give a damn because I'm here to play to have fun. All right. So anyways, so we got our pets here. We got 5 pets. And you can see, we'll see how fast they kill this minion over here. We'll let them go at it. They're going to start with this minion. Now, one thing for killing them, this is without me supporting them. They get through that minion pretty fast, Cross. Was that not fast enough? I don't think that was too shabby. And that's before I support them, right? That wasn't even me buffing or debuffing. Ooh, we got some more. We got some more concentrations over here. Now, yes, in order for you to help them kill faster, you are supposed to be doing buffing and debuffing. And supporting that is part of the deal. That's part of the written contract between you and the pets here. So you will see me do some of this, but that's a lieutenant right there, right? And I'll just try to heal them up a little bit here, but they're tearing through that lieutenant kind of quickly. I'm not even touching any buttons. Lieutenant's dead, and that's like a level 21 lieutenant. There's a level 22 over there, so he's going to look red to me. You know, I think they're cutting through pretty quick. Now, you will, of course, get better mileage if you do whatever it is your class is designed to do. Like, especially if you're using kinetics, you can kinetics the hell out of these guys and have little puppy dogs running around like they're on Speedo and whatnot. That's always fun. Let's do a reveal here. Let's just get to the end. I just got to find and rescue Fusionette. And she could be anywhere in Le Donjon. Whoops. Yeah, they're right there. Now, the way I've heard some people say, I find it really hard to control puppy dogs or whatever. They go crazy. Yeah, what I do, as you see me do here, is I put the dogs in front. I let them do their thing. I'm here to support them, right? I can even talk to you guys while I'm doing this. Because really, I'm just here to hit the buttons once in a while, heal them up, right? I heal them up, I keep them happy, and I let them go to work. And against lieutenants and stuff, look at this. I'm hardly pressing any powers at all. I probably didn't even have to heal them there, but I'm going to heal them anyways just to kind of help them feel better. All right. But it's a really easy class to pilot. This is why I put this on the S tier. Here I am playing it ×2+1s against a bunch of oranges and reds, and I'm still pretty much on autopilot, really. Now, we do have a big pool right here, so we are going to be a little supportive of our puppy dogs. And even here, they probably won't come close to dying. Look at that. They're just going at it, boys. Say they're having a good time. Now, they are a little split up between two enemies, so it took a little while to get him. Plus, he's a red, so they're going to miss him more often. But there we go. Not too shabby, right? Not too shabby. Getting through this, not a problem. I would say difficulty right now is pretty low. I haven't had to use any inspirations. I haven't had to run away yet. Nothing like that. Now, there's a couple of stress tests that we're going to want to do in this. One is we're going to want to face off against an elite boss or two, and we will find that in this scenario eventually. The second thing we're going to want to do is do a bad pool, even if I have to do it on purpose, and see how well they handle a bad pool. So that's gonna come up at some point. I've heard some people say, Phil, you don't use bodyguard mode. You're a complete amateur. How dare you not use bodyguard mode? It's the best mode that's ever been made. The best mode ever made to man. How can you not do bodyguard mode? Oh my gosh. And I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm not a big fan of bodyguard mode. I'm not a big fan of being the pet's bodyguard. That's what I feel like it is when you do bodyguard mode. You're going to run in front so the damage gets split between the pets. That seems to me like I'm bodyguarding for them instead of the other way around, and whatnot. The one little bad thing about this particular pairing of Marine and whatnot is I feel like I have to heal these pets manually after combat. I mean, you can always like slip them a green and that'll replenish them as well. But it's like almost faster just to summon a new one or something. I don't know. By the way, you haven't even seen me use like the cooldown Fortified Pack. The problem is by the time I know I need to use Fortified Pack, they're probably already dead because I'm so unused to using it. It's a long cooldown ability that buffs up their defenses and everything. So, yeah. So what do you think so far when you're watching this, Cross? How does this experience that you're seeing so far line up to what you're used to seeing when you play? And Panther and everybody, what do you think so far? This is a +1 × 2. Now, if you're playing on default settings, you will sometimes run into +2 just in the normal course of play. I should say +1, but they've been popping a +2 because people ask me sometimes, why don't I play more +XX? And the reason is because flashbacks automatically have +1, 2, or occasionally even 3 built into it. And if you set it at +2, that +2 will combine with a +3, for example, become a +5. And that sucks. Especially when you're like level 15 and you've hardly got any freaking thing, bonuses going on or whatever the deal may be. So, Cross, how does the experience compare to yours? Does it look like my wolves are doing the same speed, faster, slower? How does it compare to yours? And what level are you at right now, by the way? As we're running through here. Now, I should get an elite boss in here somewhere. Though I think it's an elite boss I'll have help with. I'm not super sure. Oh, you only have one? Oh, gosh, yeah. If you're at the super, super low levels, it's going to be slow. You want to take Yeah, the super low levels, if you're going too slow, like when you only have one pet, then yeah, you want to you want to grab the start vendor, things to help speed up your progress. And that happens with a lot of classes, by the way. Especially if you're playing like controller, dominator, it's not unusual to have some issues with things being kind of slow. So, hey, Radioactive, how are you doing today? See, like, my Dire Wolf is, like, really hurt. So I feel like the easiest thing to do is maybe see if I can just summon up another one there. We'll see. No, apparently that doesn't heal him. I should have dismissed them first or something. They're not going to let me get away with healing him that easy. There's a little healing mist for you, buddy. What are you doing, Sans? What are you doing, buddy? What you doing? All right. So what I will do, just to kind of humor some people here, I'll put bodyguard mode on right here. Doing pretty well. Thanks for asking. Getting ready for my big appointment tomorrow. Ooh, yeah. I hope everything turns out okay with that. All right. So generally speaking, in a tough pull, you just want to make sure you're constantly supporting your pets, making sure you're doing the things that your class can do and do it well. Make sure you're keeping them healed, keeping them buffed, all that other fun jazz. Going in there, debuffing the enemy. That's what Marine does. And you can see we get through things really, really quick, even on +1 ×2. I could easily bump this up to a ×3, maybe even a ×4. And it just wouldn't matter to the wolves. I'm currently level 59. Robots Traps. I think that's a great combination. Ikadra. That was the first Mastermind combination that I played back in City of Villains Live. And I really enjoyed it. When I recreated, the fun story there is when I recreated that character here in Homecoming, I forgot it was Traps and I picked Dark Miasma instead. And I don't regret the fact that I picked Dark Miasma, but then it occurred to me like a year and a half later when I saw Traps, I was like, oh wait, I had picked Traps because it made more thematic sense for that character. And now I'm a little sad. But it's okay. I'm not going to restart that character or make another one just like it. No. So we do have a Mastermind right there, and because I'm talking, I'm not 100% a Mastermind. A little arch villain. Yes, a little arch villain right there. Elite boss and curse. But we do have an NPC helping us out. We did lose one wolf in the melee. We did lose one, so most unfortunate for him. But we can summon up another one pretty easily. And let me train them, otherwise someone's going to leave a comment. Oh, you noob! You called back a pet and you didn't train him right away. You're such a noob. Noob! Yeah, +2 ×3. Masterminds can easily, I've had, on this character here, I've done +2 with bosses turned on, right? It's pretty easy street with Masterminds and whatnot. All right, so now we're getting to the nuts and bolts. Did I pick? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I picked the right one. I swear I'm supposed to do a hunt in this. Maybe I'm mixing up my different story arcs. So what we're doing tonight, boys and girls, if you're just joining us, I'm doing a bit of a stress test because it's been brought to my attention. I'm showing favoritism to the Mastermind. So, I need to maybe do a better job of explaining why the Mastermind got S tier when the Brute only got A+, the top of the A tier. Why would I do that? Why would I do such silliness? And the answer is just watch. This is really just, for most fights, it really is just, I just sit here and watch them work. I literally can just do 1 to attack, 2 to heal. Like come back, heal. I forgot to train them. Like, why my robots look so... Yeah, you got to remember to train them. Don't be a noob like I am, because clearly I'm a noob. So don't be a noob. Don't be a noob like Phil. Otherwise, people on YouTube might call you out for it. We have a nice little group of these guys right here. That's always fun. Go get them, boys. So one of the reasons I don't use bodyguard mode is I really do like them to focus attack. I'm showing you right here. I keep them focus fired on one person at a time whenever I can, because that's what gets people down. An enemy that is down is not doing any damage. If they're splitting up between targets, which they tend to do in defensive mode, then it can be a little it can be a little longer to kill everything and stuff. So we'll do a guardian mode here just for kicks and giggles. One of the nice things about well, I said I was going to do guardian mode, and then I still had them attack first. Yeah, I don't know. And they're just having fun with this arachno spot. It's really great. It's like playing the game on easy mode. Go get them, boys. Noob, how to use bodyguard mode? I don't think I've ever used it. Right. That's what they were saying. Like, how can you be a YouTuber and say, you know, mastermind this and this and this when you don't even use bodyguard mode? I didn't even know. I mean, I knew about it, but I never looked into it, so I didn't know how to do it. And I had read about it somewhere, so when I say I know about it, I just knew that, hey, it was a way to split damage with your pets by putting them into a defense mode. I didn't look into it because that didn't sound appealing to me. Now that people keep bringing it up, hey, Phil, you got to use bodyguard mode more, I've looked into it more. It doesn't fit what I think is the best playstyle for a mastermind. And you kind of see what my playstyle is here. Let them go first. That's what makes them S tier for me in leveling characters. Let them go first. Let them take the alpha strike. Let them do the thing. And you get their back. If they need support, you give it to them. If they need you to debuff the enemies, you do that. You know, you're the backup singer, right? You're the support. This is how I play them. It is very, very easy, low stress. And this is on times 2+1 on a level 20 character, right? And we're not stressing any of the normal mobs. Now we're going to try a bad pull here because I'm running out of mobs here. Oh, actually, it might be a little bit easier once I get out of the sewers. Now this is a little bit of a tough group, so. We got a red in there. Let's just see how well... Let's see how well these guys handle it without me supporting them a whole bunch. So we got a little bit of a tougher group here. But let's just say I keep them focused on one dude. Like that. And they are taking some hit... Without me supporting them, they are taking some hit points. They are getting their butts kicked without me healing them. It is going a little slow without me supporting them. But they got through a pretty tough fight at times 2+1 with me doing nothing more than pressing the attack button. Do you guys see why I put these things in S tier? And there's no risk to my character. I could go cook a burrito in the fridge. Again, it's just, to me, this is why this is S tier. It is very easy to pilot as long as you play it right. As long as you play it the way it's meant to be played. If you run in front of them and stuff, then I guess you get what you get. But let me heal them up with a couple of those guys there. Now, let's say, and I don't know why you'd want to do this, but I guess bodyguard mode, things attack me, it splits the damage among them easily. Or evenly, I should say easily. So let's just say I attack this guy first, right? So he's going to want to attack me. And you're going to see that I take very little to no damage. Well, they're still attacking the wolves anyways. Even on bodyguard mode, I guess. Now you're going to see if I support the pets, they can definitely get through things a lot faster and a lot more successfully. Except for that one wolf who's about to die. But easy enough to call up more wolves. Let me see if I dismiss them and I summon up new ones. Yeah, that does get them back to full hit points a little bit faster. So there's that. Is there any questions, by the way, on the Mastermind here while I'm playing through? On our little bit of a stress test here. Oh yeah, that's the one thing you hear over and over again. And I think the Freedom private server allows you to do exactly that. So there is that. Uh-oh. Dire wolf down. I repeat, dire wolf down. Level up, ka-jingle. You can name them. Yeah, you can name them, right. But if you want to like change the looks, I think Freedom, I heard from somebody that Freedom lets you do that. But yeah, don't quote me on that. Is this it? Just one or two here or there? They're like, oh, get after them, maybe. Oh, there's an arachnobot in the middle of that mess. I was like, what are they doing back there? Are you guys still attacking something back there? I guess. All right, so over here we have the final boss here. This is an elite boss. Again, we got the set a little higher than normal. Now, last time I did this with this character, I was able to do this without using inspirations. I don't think I had to resummon any pets or anything along those lines. This time, you know, it'd be helpful as if I could get the pets into the heal. Can I get you guys up here for a second? This time we're obviously dealing with a higher level, you know, boss, so we could be in a little bit more trouble here, but that's part of the stress test. See how well they do. Okay? Where is that alpha Howler Wolf? Howler Wolf 1, Alpha Wolf 2. You think Sunshine could get his heals on over here just to be on the safe side. All right. So we're gonna send the wolves after, you know, these guys over here. We'll try to take down the mooks first, so that they're not pounding on me pounding on my wolves the entire time. And we're gonna see how well we do with the stress test here. So let's go, wolves. Let's do it. Let's do it like Brutus, because you guys are not new to this. And we'll use our fortified pack on these guys. Keep it up, boys. You're doing a good job. Uh-oh. Lioness is down. I repeat, Lioness is down. So we did have one wolf down on this one. Oh, you know, it just occurred to me I should be using the Venom Dagger, but I totally forgot. She's dead anyways. Didn't have to use an inspiration. Lost one wolf the entire time. I don't know how much easier it can get, guys. What do you think? Was that easy? Did that look difficult to anybody? Did I miss something there? The hardest part would be waiting for the wolves to actually kill the submarine because it's a little tanky. Eventually they'll destroy it. And there we go. So 26 minutes. Not that we were speed rushing it or anything like that. I was kind of going about it kind of casually, but a little on the slow side. You know, probably a little on the slow side overall. Just a titch. But absolutely safe and easy to play. Even on harder difficulty. Really didn't have too much of a problem with that. Now let's go over to a brute. Okay, we are back. And this time I'm with Shock and Slice. I know, not exactly an original character name or even anything else. But this is a brute. Now, I used both these characters, including this brute. And I've done this mission before. And I did videos on them, showing them going through this fusion mission. And they both did really, really well. No problem on default settings at all. And I think against that elite boss fight at the end, I used maybe one inspiration with this character. And it's arguable whether that was even needed and whatnot. So a pretty easy character to pilot here. We're using claws, and we have 2 reds and 1 yellow in each power. Nothing super exciting. We have our resistances and charged armor with an endurance reduction. Nothing huge. Pretty much what I do with every character on that regard. Now, let's take a look at my powers. Do I not have reveal on this character? That is most unfortunate. I never got reveal on her. Lovely. All right. Well, we'll just do this the old-fashioned way. So again, we do have this set to times 2 plus 1, very much like we did with the with the last one. And we're just going to get in there and kind of go to it and kind of slash away and do what we're supposed to do. And start slashing. And you can see my damage bonus right there, 186. That's partly from abilities and then rage going on there. And we got through that group no problem, really. Got a little bit of an endurance thing going on with the lightning field and everything that's going on. We're going to see some endurance drain. So she kills faster at this level, but endurance tends to be an issue. So the speed of her maybe getting through mobs is kind of a little offset by the endurance drain. I could probably turn off lightning field, and let's just see if we just don't do okay without that, because that is one of those bigger endurance drains. And we're getting through things pretty quickly without it, I think. Oh gosh, yeah, see that poor guy doesn't even know what hit him. It's really hard to line things up for cones and stuff, so it's melee characters. Oh. Now, she does not have a self-heal here, right? So if I get overwhelmed or anything like, you know, they got a couple of good hits on me, I have to watch my health and consider using some inspirations here, which I didn't have to worry about on the Mastermind. I'll just point that out. But I think we're going to continue to see that be a little bit of an issue here with this harder difficulty level. We'll kind of see. We have some good resistance, though. But if they're using anything I'm not particularly resistant to, or if they just get some lucky hits or whatever the case may be, it could probably get uglier before it gets prettier. Just trying to line them both up for that cone, and I don't think I did a very good job of it. Doing Frostfire, one of my favorites, right? So early impression right now is, this is why I rate the Brute an A and not an S. I am worried about my health a lot. I am getting very low on health. I'm having to stop and rest. I didn't have to really worry about that. The closest we came is we had like one wolf die. And the wolves are kind of like your hit points on a Mastermind. If all of your wolves die, or even a majority of them die, you're kind of in big trouble as a Mastermind, and you need to consider retreating. If my health gets too low as a Brute, it's kind of the same thing, right? Let's go ahead and use our taunt once in a while just to pretend like we're actually Brutes who know what we're doing. Now, I'm not saying there aren't some expert builders and players out there who couldn't figure out a way to make this work a little bit nicer compared to the Mastermind. I know I'm going to get some comments going, well, if you just remember to grab this and this enhancement or this and this proc piece and you put it with this and you would have done this attack order exactly on your Brute, then you would have been awesome and it would have just blown your Mastermind away. And it's just like, that's kind of my point, though. If you start going in all those details, no one had to give me, a 6-course lesson on how to be a great Mastermind. That Mastermind, and I got others like it, are able to do that higher stress test kind of stuff with very little, what if-isms or whatever. Right, without using specific rotations. I didn't do anything. Hell, half the time my hands weren't even on the keyboard playing that Mastermind, right? Now, again, Brute's really good. I handled that Red Lieutenant. Not much of a problem there. Without the charge field turned on, I think my endurance is doing better. It's not that. It's not bad. I'm not trying to say Brute's bad. Again, it's second place on my list, and it's in the A tier. But I do get the feeling that later on we're going to run into a few issues. If we have a bad pull or anything like that, it's going to be a little bit harder to deal with on this character. Fast killing when the rage is up, but you still have to stop to either recharge health or recharge endurance. Now, I will tell you, I think a lot of people, whoa, okay, this is going to be brutal without me using an inspiration, I think. But we're going to try not to. Oh. Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a lot uglier. I'm stuck. Okay, we're going to use inspirations here. I'm sorry, got to use inspirations. And I'm still, dead. Stress test failed. Oh gosh, I didn't realize the camera somehow got knocked up. Gosh, my head's been missing from probably the whole thing. All right, let's pull out. Let's keep pushing through, guys. Let's keep pushing through. But yeah, this doesn't look good for the Brute stress test. Just gonna put that out there, buds. Doesn't look good. Wah, wah, wah. Wavy head, wavy head, wavy head. Now, as I was saying, I think, like, clearly to play a Mastermind in a way that I think is efficient, I won't use the word properly, but to play it in the way that I feel is efficient and can handle that high-level content with low skill, you have to play them like support, like you saw me do. And support is not popular with people, right? It never has been, never will be. I forgot to turn my defenses, didn't I? That's why you don't have a lot of people playing healers and stuff like that. and whatever have you. And so people want it. I think some people want to play Masterminds a little closer to other classes, and then wonder why they kind of miss the mark, right? And I think that's the problem to some people. If you want to get the most out of it, especially these low levels where your resources are limited, your enhancements are limited, everything else, you got to consider playing them truly as support. Let the pets go first. Let the pets grab aggro first. Let the pets do their thing first. And then you sit back and you eat your potato chips and you watch Netflix on the other screen and you let them go to work and sometimes throw something to help them out. You can literally go through the story content at +0, like just setting it at default settings and have a very relaxing time as a mastermind. You won't be killing as fast as a brute, but you will have very, very low risk. Is there a Frostfire in here? Am I just running around for kicks and giggles? Do I have stealth on this character? Probably not. Great. Where is this Fusionette? I don't see her in here. Oh, she's probably my luck. She's probably up in that thing right there. All right, come and get it. Okay, you guys are not going to taunt me into the middle of that room. We are pulling your candy asses back here. Hopefully before I run out of hit points. Just die already. Sweet mother of mercy. There we go. Jeez. Are Mastermind pets known for being the worst? Are any Mastermind pets known for being the worst? From what I understand, talking with a lot of community members, the doggos I'm playing right now are some of the worst. And maybe the ninja. Is it the ninja, I believe, are also kind of bad? Because they tend to run off and get you more aggro and stuff like that. A lot of people get frustrated at the ease at which a pet can pull a bunch of other aggro that you weren't expecting and get you into a bigger fight you weren't expecting. I don't seem to run into that problem nearly as much as other people do, partly because I sit back and I watch my pets, right? I think if you're up there doing the bodyguard method where you're constantly fighting side, up in the front and maybe they're killing some things off to your side, they're in your peripheral vision, you're not keeping an eye on them. Then they get all crazy and you lose track of them. And I think that's what happens with some people. But with me, I sit back and watch them. And if they start running away, I pull back the leash. That's what I do. I just pull back the leash. So I don't have a problem with doggos. I like the doggos, but I think the doggos are considered some of the weakest. Ninjas. Oh, and demons. Yes, I forgot about demons. Demons can be pretty bad too. Yeah, I need to play demons. I like playing the off-meta stuff. Come on, Fusionette. What is she doing now? Oh, for the love of all that is holy, my entire life. She's worse than a Mastermind pet. She wants to aggro this whole entire dungeon and... oh my goodness gracious, I hope she dies. The nice thing is if she dies, it'll just kick me right out of the mission, so there's that. See, I have to use a heal right there. I'm just getting my butt kicked. There she goes. She died, so I got kicked out of the mission. Thinking about making a new Mastermind, though. Demons are fun since a Mastermind is a melee-based power set. Oh, well, that's where you need bodyguard mode, then, if you're going to be up there meleeing a lot. But I don't use my attack powers very often in my Mastermind, if you guys see the way I play. They don't do a crap ton of damage anyway, so... She's just being lore accurate. She's not known for being smart. Yeah. Yeah, now here's a question. You guys have now saw me play that first mission with both the Mastermind and a Brute set at ×2+1. Do you think which one looks like it's having an easier go of it? Not which one would you rather play, because I think with some people it's just like, yeah, of course you don't want to play support or whatever, or you don't like pets, so you don't want to play master. I get that. But which one do you feel is an easier go based on what you've seen me do here? Oh, Arbiter Sand's right up at the front. That's very convenient. So you can see, even with just this small group here, I'm already down to half hit points. Now, part of this was I was kind of coming cold, so my first few attacks didn't do as much damage as normal, because I was coming in cold with a low rage meter, but it still hurts. Yeah, always Mastermind, right? Been quiet, like... I just think it's pretty clear. I think if you compare, you know, the two things side by side in a stress test, why I put Mastermind S tier and why the Brute is A+. It's A+, it's really good, but it's not quite S. Now, here's the thing. In the vast majority of story arcs, you're not going to run into difficulty like this. I've artificially increased the difficulty. So an argument could be made, Phil, it should be S tier as well, because you just don't have difficulties with it. But, if you play a lot of different story arcs, you know that there are story arcs that are wonky, that have high-level enemies in them, that have bad pulls in them, that have enemies that will drain your endurance, that will slow you down with recharge reductions and all that other bullshits. Wow, why are you guys all the way back over here? Why is this pool so big and ugly? And so story arcs will occasionally throw situations at my Brutes that my Brutes struggle with. It doesn't happen too often. But every Brute also has their weaknesses, right? Especially at level 20. You don't have all the resistances covered. So if you're in a mission with a bunch of psychic attackers and you're playing this Brute right here, I don't think she has good psychic resistances. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she doesn't. Or toxic. Then all of a sudden, your Mastermind's a lot squishier, and the missions just became a bit harder and stuff. Particularly if there's like an arch boss or elite boss or whatever, you know, in the middle of all of it. All right, Fusionet. Do you think you could, you know, follow? Oh, we have to defeat our little elite boss somewhere. I forgot about him. We got an EB to defeat here. Oh, good grief! It's the. Of course, now I got like a whole posse backing me up here, so this shouldn't be too hard. It's like you're in a legit group with all these NPCs in here. Yeah, I definitely come a lot closer to dying on the Brute, to be sure. The G word? What's the G word? I can't even tell what's going on in this room. There could be a curse in this room. I would never know. Group. Ah, the G word. Yeah. I know. I don't even like a group of NPCs like this because it really dilutes, you know, what you're doing. And if the mission falls apart, was that because they oh my gosh, I can't even get out the door now. Look at that. I can't get out the door because his stupid pet is in the doorway. Oh, that wasn't his pet? Was that his pet? I don't know. Where's the freaking next floor at, or the exit, or whatever? So, like in some missions, it was clear that they bumped up the number of enemies, but they did it because they gave you an NPC. So when you lost, was that because your character wasn't built good enough, or because the NPC wasn't pulling their weight? Or somewhere in the middle? It just muddies the waters, right? It just muddies the waters. All right, here's our good friend Cursed, all right? So this is our first kind of... Oh, for the love of Pete, guys, do you have the... Fucking... Like, literally, guys. They are worse than Mastermind pets. I hope they all die. There was no need to fight these dudes. All right. So we got Curse over here. All right, you guys go do you, because, you know, I'm going to try not to use inspirations here. Where did Curse go? Little fun guy over here. Mission complete. I almost died, but I did it. I did it. We didn't die. But now we have the big face off with the elite boss one-on-one. The true test of metal. The true test. I'm doing pretty decently. I don't think I would be doing this good on a let's say a blaster or something at level 20. I'm gonna try to run through some of these fights here and just get to the point. Oh, you know, but then again, we have this nice little moo up here. Let's go attack the moo. Oh gosh, I have no... Oh wait, it's saying my health is a little titchy on the low side. Let's get the rest of that back up before we go fighting fierce and ugly lady up there. Chop chop. Hey, there you guys are. You joining the party? Oh, nice hit on both of those guys. Oh, level up. Well, now that's... wait, would that... Okay, no, that I'm about to say that's going to mar the numbers, but... mar the experience, because I would be one level above everything than before, but now I'm enforced to level 20, so we're good. I will be riding high off of these inspirations for a solid 60 seconds. Nothing like riding high on a purple to make you feel pretty invulnerable. What the heck? Come over here and play with the rest of us. Stop hiding over there. I always hate how taunt will get them to come in close, but not quite close enough to get them into a juicy AoE half the time. Wow, he is pretty hard to slice down. And stayed that. I almost ran out of endurance there. Not bad, 50 minutes, 1 death on Frostfire. Hey, that's not bad. Frostfire will kick me in the shins. You know, at least once. Quite often. Quite often. He is a tough, tough cookie. I would not want to fight him on ×2+1 and all that other jazz. Uh-oh, see him? I'm having health issues just dealing with these guys here. Yeah, nope, not doing too good. Oh, I'm down. So, for whatever reason, I couldn't handle a lieutenant and 2 minions. Now, to be fair, like, she does probably, like, psychic damage and shit that I'm not good against on that character, but that's one of my points, is that when I'm doing some of these characters, right? When you're playing Brute, sometimes you're going to go up against characters that are in story arcs. When you're doing random story arcs, you're going to go up against characters who have your weakness, who are going to hit you where you don't have resistances set up, and your life becomes a lot more difficult. Especially if they're resistant to whatever damage you're bringing to the table at the same time. Now, do I judge the whole entirety of the class on that? No, it's about an average. But the reason why it's A+ and not an S tier is that these exceptions exist in fair enough quantities. When I play brutes on harder difficulties at low levels, you're just going to run into these walls sometimes. It's not a big deal. It happens. You either push through it or you lower the difficulty, or you learn to use inspirations to get over those humps. Right? But you know what I don't have to do on Mastermind? Yeah. quite a lot of what I just listed. As you saw me go through on that Mastermind and just kind of carve through this, you know, those wolves don't have any special super psychic protection, I'm sure. They just kind of get through stuff, and a wolf will die here and there. You just summon another one. I'm going to zip past these guys and hopefully not die in the process, and just work my way to the end of the dungeon here if I don't, you know, get caught in a circle here. Wow, where is the end of the dungeon? Oh, this way, Phil. You always got the option to rush to the boss if you want. Now, when I did this before on this brute at regular difficulties, I really didn't have too much problems with any of the fights or anything like that. And I was able to get through this boss here on with only 1 inspiration. And again, it's questionable whether or not I even needed that inspiration. But with a +1 stress test going on, this is going to be a little bit... Was she purple in the last person? I have to go back and rewind the tape. But it is +1. She's an elite boss, so purple makes sense. And she's got a couple of yellows that I'm going to have to deal with. So I have a hard time believing I'm going to get through this without using inspirations in advance. Right? So, but we're going to do it for science. We're going to give it the old college try. I'm going to try mostly to get rid of the minions through AoEs as their neko. Then again, I'm already halfway dead. Oh, we're already a lot dead. Okay, I think it's fair to say we have to use inspirations. And even with inspirations, I kicked the kitty bucket. So, yeah. Yeah. I have to give the nudge to Mastermind. And I'm sure, again, somebody's going to be in the comments like, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. I'm sure. I'm sure. But again, I don't have to do all that on the Mastermind. I literally just sent the pets in and used my normal powers to occasionally heal them or debuff the enemy or whatever it is you're supposed to be doing on a Mastermind. Now, mind you, different power sets would probably handle that boss a little bit differently. There's always that variance of, hey, what if I had used this power set or that power set or whatever have you. You can take what I'm saying with a huge ass grain of salt. I have played the game quite a lot in the 1 to 30ish range. I have played the game a lot, and when it comes to whether it's on a brute or on a sentinel, it just happens that you're going to occasionally run into enemies that are going to be tougher resistance, be a bad resistance match for you either offensively or defensively, and or be higher level and just be tougher to get through. But the Mastermind when I play Mastermind classes, it doesn't bother me one bit because at normal difficulty levels, it's not even... There's nothing in the game that has challenged me on a Mastermind at normal difficulty levels. I have to bump up the difficulty levels to have somewhat of an issue. And whatever have you. That's it. But on a Brute, on a Sentinel, which, by the way, some of you guys are like, oh, favoritism, whatever have you. I will point out that my favorite class in the game is number 3 on the list. Behind 1, a melee class, and number 2, a pet class. And whatever have you. I by far have put more time on Sentinel than I have the other 2 classes that I put ahead of it. And whatever have you. Number 2, my second favorite class is the 3rd lowest on that list. Dominator. I love Dominator. I could play Dominator all day long. But you know what? Dominator would struggle with this. Abso-freaking-lutely would struggle with this. Without using a crap ton of inspirations and having domination saved up and jumping through a few hoops, would absolutely have a problem with this. Absolutely. Let's see here. Let's do... Okay, we're going to inspiration this lady up this time. We're gonna inspiration this up like a rock star. And we're gonna miss a lot because I didn't bring accuracies. What's my chance to hit her? Last hit chance, 87% is not bad. 83%, 83%. I mean, yeah, that chance to hit isn't too bad. I'm gonna have an endurance issue before anything else. Oh, it would help if I didn't have the travel powers turned on. Stupid Phil. What, did she just die at the end? Oh, because she has like a little contingency plan to teleport out. Okay. So yeah, with inspirations, no problem, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, you should consider inspirations, of course, when judging, whatever and stuff like that. But my point is, and that's why it's an A+ tier. This character, Brutes, can handle default difficulty. And when they run into difficult situations like this, they can use inspirations to get it through. That's the requirement for A tier, right? To be S tier, you got to blow that out of the water. And that's exactly what Masterminds do. That's what Masterminds do. So that's the end of the stress test, guys. You can let me know what you think down in the comments below. Tell me if you agree or disagree. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments of like, well, you should have played the Brute this way or that way or whatever. I've played a lot. I've played my share of low-level Brutes. I've played my share of low-level Masterminds. And I experienced these same patterns over and over again. And that's why I knew I could just come online. I'm streaming this live, so the people on stream could see if I was like, no, I'm going to edit the tape or anything like. No, the group on stream just saw me play it straight up in front of them and everything else. And it was what it was. It's definitely tougher on the Brute, though it's still pretty fun and pretty easy to play. Overall, when you stress it up to pluses and stuff like that, the cracks start to show in low-level Brutes the way it doesn't really show nearly as much on a Mastermind. So that's my TED Talk for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, may God bless you. All right.